Imagine you're about to close a massive seven-figure deal.
High stakes.
Right, incredibly high stakes. You have prepped for this meeting for weeks. The slide deck is flawless. Your talking points are memorized. You've, anticipated every single objection the client might possibly throw at you.
You are totally ready.
Exactly. But right now, you aren't in a boardroom. You are standing outside Los Angeles International Airport at Terminal 4, sweating through your suit.
Oh, no.
And you're just watching this little car icon on your phone screen spin in a circle, recalculate, and then just completely disappear.
The driver canceled.
The driver canceled. You have 45 minutes to get all the way across town. And your pitch isn't failing in the boardroom. It is actively failing on the curb.
That is a very visceral scenario, but it's actually incredibly common. We spend so much energy optimizing the actual meeting, like the actual performance, right?
Yeah, the stuff we feel we can control.
Exactly. But then we treat the physical movement between point A and point B as this total afterthought. We just assume the logistics will sort themselves out.
And when you're dealing with a transportation landscape like Southern California, assuming things will just sort themselves out is a massive gamble.
It really is.
Which is exactly why we are doing this deep dive today.
Yeah.
We are on a mission to completely transform the way you think about business travel and those hidden, often ignored costs of basic transportation.
Absolutely.
Whether you're prepping for a huge corporate roadshow, managing logistics for a visiting VIP, or honestly, if you're just totally exhausted by the mental drain of unpredictable transit, this is for you.
Yeah.
You're pulling insights from a really detailed guide published by Perfect Transportation Limousine and Sedans.
They go by PTL Executive, right?
Right, PTL Executive. The piece is titled 7 Smart Reasons to Book Executive Car Service in Riverside CA. And we're going to look at why professional transportation functions as a strategic asset, not just, a luxury upgrade.
Fundamentally, when you evaluate a highly demanding market like Southern California, the core of this entire conversation is about protecting your time and maintaining a professional image.
Your two most critical currencies.
Precisely. Those are the currencies that matter. If you lose control of either of those, the ripple effects just damage everything else on your calendar.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because our source material dives straight into the most stressful part of travel, which is the sheer unpredictability of it all.
Oh, without a doubt.
We are talking about Southern California traffic patterns, which are, frankly, practically a force of nature. It's a region where a 15-minute delay doesn't just mean you grab your coffee a little later.
It ruins the whole day.
Exactly. It can completely ruin a corporate presentation, cause you to miss a really strict flight window, or just totally derail a tightly planned day of back-to-back appointments across different counties.
Well, you have to look at the mechanics of how people usually travel now versus what an executive service actually provides. The standard default for most of us is the on-demand rideshare. And the operative word there is on-demand. The availability is entirely dictated by whatever driver happens to be circling your specific block at that exact second.
Right.
Combined with an algorithm that is prioritizing overall system efficiency, not your personal schedule.
Wait, let me stop you there and just push back a little on behalf of anyone listening who practically lives their entire life through their smartphone.
Go for it.
With so many on-demand ride apps right there in our pockets, isn't booking a dedicated scheduled car service a little, outdated? I mean, I rely on apps for crucial flights all the time. Sure, watching the car icon freeze on the map is stressful, and yeah, sometimes the driver takes a weird route, but it usually works out in the end. Isn't that just the modern cost of doing business?
What's fascinating here is that business travelers don't actually crave convenience. They crave confidence.
Oh, that's an interesting way to frame it.
Right. An app is highly convenient when you're just going to a casual dinner on a Tuesday night. But it does not offer confidence when the stakes are high. Think about the mechanism of an app-based ride.
Okay.
You are essentially crowdsourcing your logistics in real time. When you book an executive service, you aren't hoping the algorithm favors you. You have secured a binding contract for a specific vehicle and a professional chauffeur at a specific minute.
I really like that distinction. Relying on an app for a crucial itinerary is, it's like playing the lottery with your schedule.
It really is.
Whereas an executive service is a guaranteed contract.
Right.
You are buying the certainty that the vehicle will be there.
Precisely. And the stakes are highest at the airport, which our source specifically addresses. Navigating an airport is not just about driving down a freeway.
No, it's a whole ordeal.
It involves a highly specific sequence of timing needs. You're navigating terminal access, managing luggage handling, anticipating those really narrow traffic windows at arrivals, and executing complex route planning.
Which an app driver might not be prepared for.
Exactly. An app driver might not know the absolute fastest way to navigate a congested arrivals curb during peak hours, but a professional chauffeur has that entire sequence calculated before your plane even touches the tarmac.
Which brings up a really interesting dynamic.
Right.
Once you've actually secured that certainty, once you know without a doubt that the car is there and you will arrive on time, what do you actually do with the time inside the vehicle? Because if the anxiety of the pickup is gone, that space transforms into something else entirely.
It transforms into what the industry calls usable time. And this is a massive shift in how we perceive travel.
How so?
Well, for high-level professionals, the ride is no longer this blank zone where you just suspend reality and wait to arrive. It becomes a highly practical extension of the workday.
I hear that, but again, let me play devil's advocate here.
Sure.
If I'm in a standard rideshare, I can just throw on some high-end noise-canceling headphones, open my laptop, and tune out the driver's radio.
Thank you.
Isn't that also usable time? Why do I need an executive sedan to answer some emails?
Noise-canceling headphones block sound, but they do not eliminate cognitive load or provide genuine security.
Interesting.
Think about what your brain is actually doing in a standard rideshare. You are subconsciously monitoring the route because you don't fully trust the GPS.
Yeah, I do that all the time, glancing at my phone to see if they missed the exit.
Right. You're holding your bag awkwardly because the seat isn't quite clean. You're making micro decisions. Is the driver taking the right exit? Are we going to hit that construction traffic?
It's exhausting.
It is. This concept of decision fatigue is very real. It depletes your cognitive reserves before your meeting even starts.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You're completely offloading the mental burden of the journey. It's not just about comfort, it's about preserving your mental energy for the actual work.
Exactly. And then there is the mechanism of privacy. The source specifically calls out the target demographics for this service.
Right. Who are they?
Attorneys, consultants, medical professionals, sales teams, and corporate executives. For these individuals, absolute confidentiality is completely non-negotiable.
Right. I mean, you cannot sit in the back of an unpredictable rideshare and confidently take a phone call about a pending corporate merger.
No, definitely not.
Or discuss a sensitive legal strategy or review private patient data. You have no idea who is driving, what is being recorded on their dash cam, or who they might mention that conversation to.
An executive vehicle is essentially an airlock. You step inside. The chaotic pressure of Southern California traffic stays on the outside, and the climate-controlled, secure environment of your office is perfectly maintained while moving at 65 miles an hour.
That sounds amazing, honestly.
It is a clean, quiet, well-maintained space, completely free of distractions. You can take that discreet phone call, you can lay out confidential documents right on the seat, or, frankly, you can just close your eyes and mentally reset without keeping one eye on the driver's navigation screen.
So we've established how this service profoundly benefits you, the traveler, by protecting your cognitive reserves and providing a secure mobile office. But as we move through the insights from PTL Executive, there is a fascinating shift. The focus moves outward.
Yes, the external impact.
Right. It's no longer just about your own productivity. It's about the ripple effect your transportation choices have on the people you interact with.
Because transportation is never isolated. It is a highly visible component of the overall customer experience. How you handle logistics reflects directly on your company's brand and operational competence.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Think about the scenario where you are not the one traveling, but you are booking travel for someone else.
Oh, this is huge.
You are bringing in out-of-town clients, potential investors, guest speakers, or your company's remote leadership team. The alternative to providing professional transport is asking your visiting guests to arrange their own rides from the airport.
Which is not a great look.
It's terrible. I have to say, asking a visiting VIP to figure out their own app-based ride from a chaotic airport curb is like inviting someone to a formal dinner party at your house, and when they arrive, pointing them to the kitchen and asking them to cook their own meal.
That is a perfect analogy. It communicates a profound lack of preparation. What we are analyzing here is the physical manifestation of your brand.
Yeah.
The way your guests arrive says volumes about your organization's attention to detail before a single word is ever spoken in a meeting.
It sets the baseline.
Exactly. If you bring an investor in and they have to navigate the rideshare lot, find the right license plate, and then sit in a subpar vehicle for an hour, you are starting the ensuing negotiation at a massive deficit.
They are arriving totally flustered. Their cortisol levels are spiked. They're annoyed before you even shake their hand.
Precisely. Conversely, the source notes that when a guest is met by a professional chauffeur in a clean luxury sedan, it immediately communicates structure, respect, and high-level organization.
It changes the whole vibe.
It sets a tone of competence.
Right.
A polished transportation experience actually strengthens your professional relationships because it demonstrates that you care about quality from the very first touch point all the way to the last.
And let's multiply that complexity for a second. The guide specifically mentions the logistics of team travel across this region.
Right.
We're talking about coordinating movements across Riverside, Corona, Orange County, and Los Angeles.
That is where the logistical framework of a standard approach completely collapses. If you have a leadership team of 4 people arriving at different times and you tell them to all just grab their own transit to the convention center in Orange County, you are courting disaster.
Well, absolutely, because person A gets a driver who knows the carpool lane. Person B gets stuck behind a multi-car pileup on the 91 freeway.
Yep.
Person C's driver gets completely lost trying to find the specific entrance of the hotel. And suddenly your 2:00 p.m. strategy alignment meeting doesn't actually start until 3:15 p.m. and half the room is stressed out.
Which is exactly why businesses hosting meetings, conventions, or complex dinner events lean on professional companies. It removes the variables.
It takes the guesswork out.
Right. It centralizes the logistical command. A professional service keeps the schedule unified across a massive, sprawling geographic area.
And that geography is no joke. We've talked about these high-level strategic concepts, protecting cognitive load, presenting a polished brand image, maintaining the airlock of a mobile office. But our source material grounds all of this in this specific demanding reality of local travel in Southern California.
It is a uniquely challenging environment, and the mechanics of navigating it require specialized knowledge.
For sure.
The text outlines the specific friction points. You've got severe airport congestion, unpredictable heavy freeway traffic, tight event timing, complex hotel access points, and frequent regional route changes due to construction or accidents.
Which means a multi-stop itinerary across SoCal counties can become an absolute nightmare if you do not have someone with genuine, lived local knowledge at the wheel.
It's vital.
And this is a crucial distinction. We all have GPS on our phones. But a GPS app simply calculates the mathematical distance between 2 coordinates based on historical data.
Right.
It might tell you a drive takes 45 minutes. But a local professional chauffeur knows that at 3:00 p.m. on a Thursday, a specific freeway interchange essentially becomes a parking lot.
Oh, yes.
And the mathematically slower surface street is actually the only way you'll make your meeting.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the guide makes a very nuanced point here. It states that a trip is about more than mileage.
I love that phrase.
It really highlights the gap between algorithmic routing and human expertise. An app driver blindly follows the blue line on a screen to the geographical center of a convention center polygon on a map.
Right, they just get you close.
Exactly. They drop you off at the main commercial address.
Which means you are suddenly standing on a sidewalk in the blazing sun, staring at a complex that spans 3 city blocks, trying to figure out which unmarked glass door leads to your specific conference room.
Exactly. The value of local drivers who truly understand Riverside, Orange County, and Los Angeles is in the pickup and drop-off coordination.
It's the last mile.
A professional chauffeur doesn't just take you to the geographical center. They know the specific unmarked VIP loading dock or the exact side entrance of the massive hotel that shaves 15 minutes of walking off your arrival time. They understand the nuances of the built environment.
It is about engineering structure around your day. The source points out a fascinating reality, which is that transportation often serves as the keystone habit of a business trip.
It really does. It affects everything else.
Right. If the transportation is poor, it sends a shockwave through the entire itinerary. A late departure compresses a meeting, which delays a lunch, which pushes back a flight.
It's a domino effect.
But when the transportation is handled with precision, the entire day feels remarkably organized.
Because you have systematically removed the friction. When the friction of travel is engineered out of the experience, the traveler physically and mentally feels the difference.
You can just breathe.
Exactly. The baseline stress level stays lower. The entire trip feels controlled rather than chaotic. And this explains why the guide notes that repeat customers stick with professional providers like PTL Executive.
Makes sense.
Once an executive experiences the contrast between algorithmic chaos and structured reliability, they rarely go back.
And I think it's really important to mention that while we've been heavily focused on corporate boardroom scenarios, the guide clarifies that PTL Executive's footprint goes beyond that.
Yes, it's broader.
They handle high-stakes corporate transportation and special events, certainly, but they also explicitly highlight their Disneyland transportation service for family and leisure experiences.
Which might initially sound like a pivot from our corporate discussion, but the underlying logic is identical.
Oh, completely. Anyone who has ever tried to coordinate a multi-generational family trip from an airport to a theme park in Southern California traffic.
Good luck.
Right. It knows that it requires just as much, if not more, logistical, tactical support as a corporate roadshow.
Often more, honestly.
You're still dealing with luggage, strict timing, exhausted travelers, and complex hotel drop-offs. The context changes, but the need for that airlock of a structured, frictionless experience remains exactly the same.
The principle applies across the board. You are investing in certainty and the reduction of cognitive load, regardless of whether the final destination is a boardroom or a leisure resort.
Okay, we have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, moving from the curb at LAX all the way through the psychology of decision fatigue.
It's been a journey.
Let's synthesize the core message we've extracted from this guide. Choosing an executive car service in Riverside, California, or navigating the broader Southern California region is not simply about paying for a nicer seat.
No, it's not.
It is a highly strategic investment. You are actively investing in the physical presentation of your professional image, the optimization of your personal efficiency, and the protection of your mental energy. You are shifting your paradigm from hoping for basic convenience to demanding absolute confidence and structured reliability.
It requires recognizing that in a highly demanding, unpredictable market, the manner in which you transit directly dictates the level at which you can perform the moment you arrive.
Now, as promised, we want to ensure you have the precise details provided in our source material so you can explore this further.
Highly recommend checking them out.
The organization behind this framework is Perfect Transportation Limousine and Sedans, operating as PTL Executive. Their physical location is 15181 Van Buren Boulevard, SPC 136, Riverside, CA 92504.
Got it.
You can reach them by phone at 800-920-9987, and their digital footprint is at ptlexecutive.com. The guide also mentions that you can verify their reputation and track record through their listings on Yelp, Google Maps, and they are integrated with FlightAware for their precision airport-related services.
This raises an important question. It prompts a genuine audit of our own professional habits.
Yeah, we all need one of those.
In business, we are often so conditioned to default to whatever is most immediately accessible on our phone screen, or whatever appears to have the lowest upfront price tag, that we entirely fail to calculate the secondary and tertiary costs of those compromised choices.
So what does this all mean? Well, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, a calculation that builds on everything we've unpacked today.
Okay.
I want you to sit down and honestly calculate your own hourly professional rate. What is the monetary value of 1 hour of your focused, productive time?
That's a revealing number.
It is. Now, look back over the last 12 months and multiply that number by the sheer number of hours you have spent stressed out on a curb, watching an app recalculate, delayed in an unfamiliar rideshare, taking a mathematically inefficient route, or sitting in traffic entirely unable to open your laptop or make a secure, confidential call.
That adds up fast.
It really does. When you look at that final aggregate number, the true hidden cost of that lost productivity and compounded stress, would strategically investing in an executive car service actually end up making you money in the long run?
When you lay out the variables like that, it transforms from a travel expense into a clear return on investment.
It really does, because at the end of the day, that time spent traveling doesn't have to be a blank zone on your calendar. It doesn't have to be a waiting room where you suspend reality and drain your cognitive reserves.
Absolutely not.
And it absolutely does not have to be a sinking feeling in the logistical quicksand of Southern California. With the right strategy and the right professional partnership, the journey itself can become the most productive, secure, and controlled part of your entire day.